Texas's Kelvin Banks deserves to be the first offensive tackle selected in the 2025 NFL Draft. He made major improvements during this season. Ryan, what stood out to you the most from Banks?
I mean, we wanted to talk about a little bit more of urgency as a player. I think is one thing that was an improvement we talked about in the preseason. He has the requisite arm length. He's going to be right around 34 inches. He's got a good body type, and he has requisite foot quickness for playing offensive tackle at the next level. It was about just being a little bit laxed at times, right? It was about getting to your set points a little bit cleaner, a little bit quicker, having better foot placements, having better hand placement. Like the little nuances of playing the offensive line position was something that you really wanted to see from Kelvin Banks this year. And I thought you saw it for the most part, Joe. He's not a perfect prospect by any stretch, but the improvements we saw in the preseason that we wanted to see, I think we saw generally a lot of good things in Kelvin Banks' growth in 2024.
Right. Coming into the year, Kelvin Banks, we knew that he was a great athlete, and that showed up again on film. The body control is amazing. The strength that he has, coupled with the way that he's able to move, it puts together the perfect profile that you're looking for in an offensive tackle prospect. There's a little bit of a disagreement just from the media side on how good of an athlete Kelvin Banks is, how easy of a mover is he. I think that he moves pretty well for what his play style is, which is being physical, which is overpowering pass rushers and locking them down by having a really stout lower body. But this improvement to his hand usage and his pass protection technique, that is where we went from him being raw, possible first rounder, and then to me, in my eyes, becoming the first tackle, being worthy of being selected as the first tackle in this class.
Well, he's actually not my offensive tackle one, which is kind of funny. And we'll have a deeper conversation about, I know, very lame. We'll have a deeper conversation about this, but I do think I am just generally speaking, I am good with Kelvin Banks going in the top 20 selections or so, like somewhere in that ballpark, because he's not a player that I don't think necessarily has plus everywhere, but I think he has requisite everywhere, right? Like, again, the body type is good. The length is solid to good. The athleticism is solid to good. There's no spot that I'd necessarily say he's elite. Maybe strength, just overall power. He is close to having that plus kind of strength. But overall, I think he just kind of checks a lot of boxes, which is why I think that he'll be a solid starter at the NFL level. I think there's some hesitation to me of saying he's a perennial Pro Bowler. He's going to be a guy that, you know, kind of is a linchpin on an offensive line consistently for 10 plus years. Like, I don't necessarily know if I see that, but I see a good starter potentially on the NFL level, a guy that could play left or right tackle, and a guy that at worst could be a very good guard if that's what you choose him to be on the next level.
Yeah, and Ryan, this offensive tackle class, it's not very good. There are no future Hall of Famers. There's no guy that's going to end up being just a consistent, dominant all-pro that you're going to get out of this group. But you're going to get a lot of really good starters, and Kelvin Banks, to me, leads that group. If we were to talk about some of these deficiencies for him that do still need improvement, he's a much better pass protector than he is a run blocker for me. I think that we're still seeing inconsistencies with leg drive and pad level. He needs to get better in that area to be more well-rounded.
Right. Well, and I think that his change of direction skills, both in the run and pass game, I think they're very average for NFL standards, right? Like, again, it's not deficient. It's not like I look and say him kind of having to recover in space, or at least against a pass rusher, being able to work an inside counter, whatever it is. I don't think that those are necessarily to the level that I'm alarmed and that I'm really worried about him transitioning to the next level. But I do think it's a little limiting, right? Like, I do think there's some deficiencies. I think there's honestly going to be some times where when he's going against one of the better pass rushers in the NFL, or one of the better pass rushers just kind of in his conference, I think he could struggle for a couple reps a game, just because I think that change of direction skill is not the best in the world. So I think it's just something that you're going to have to live with, right? Like, maybe he's a little bit more of a short setter than a traditional vertical set guy. Like, those things could be kind of in the cards for him. But overall, I think that he has requisite everywhere. It's just about where are the deficient, or where are the average traits that an opposing defender could take advantage of him.
Folks, let us know in the comments, what team do you want to see draft Kelvin Banks? Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.